The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted.
The true location of the land of Judah, continuing my series on the possibility that biblical history happened in the Americas. Today we're going to be talking about the real location of the land of Judah. Now, what makes the tribe of Judah so important in the Bible? The tribe of Judah became the most powerful and most important tribe. Not only did it produce the great kings David and Solomon, but also it was prophesied that the Messiah would come from among its members. The kingdom of Judah was in Utah. The best-selling book When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler has already demonstrated that Peru was Jerusalem and that the kingdom of Judah is in Utah. How did Mr. Butler prove that the kingdom of Judah was in Utah? Well, he used biblical verses from Deuteronomy chapter 34 verses 1 through 3, which reads as follows. And Moses went up from the plains of Moab onto the mountain of Nebo to the top of Pisgah, that is over Jericho, and the Lord showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and all the land of Judah unto utmost sea, and the south and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, unto Zoar. The strange thing about the description of the kingdom of Judah given in Deuteronomy chapter 34 is that all these biblical place names can be found in Utah, such as Manasseh, Utah, Mount Nebo, Utah, Mount Pisgah, Utah, Jericho, Utah, South Gilead Way, Utah, Ephraim, Utah, Daniel, Utah, Nephi, Utah, short for Naphtali, Moab, Utah, and many other biblical names are found in Utah, such as Goshen, Utah, Jordan Salt Lake, which could possibly be the real Dead Sea. There is a mountain in eastern Nevada named Mount Moriah, and it's over 12,000 feet high. In Utah, not only is there a river Jordan, but it runs out of a freshwater lake and into the Great Salt Lake, which is remarkably like the Dead Sea. There is also a Mount Nebo in Utah, approximately 12,000 feet high. So yes, with evidence this strong, the real Judah was possibly in Utah. Now, people often try to say that it was the Mormons that gave these places names in Utah, biblical names to support their position as Jews. However, this explanation fails miserably because there are no 12,000 feet high mountains in modern-day Jerusalem. Therefore, the real Judah or Israel has to be in Utah because it fits the description of the kingdom of Judah perfectly. Now, one of the criticisms I would get for looking into the possibility that much of biblical history happened into the Americas is that I'm stepping into Mormon territory. However, I do not believe in any denomination whatsoever. So just because I look into the possibility of biblical history happening somewhere else doesn't make me part of any denomination. I also believe that we should limit our use of technology such as social media and artificial intelligence. But that doesn't make me an Amish. So often people say that the reason Utah has all these biblical names was because of the Mormons. But the reality is all these names were given by the natives found throughout Utah. Such as the name Utah itself, it is derived from the name of the Oti tribe. It means people of the mountains in the Oti language. According to other sources, Utah is derived from the Apache name Yuta, which means tall. In the Spanish language, it was said as Utah. Subsequently, the English-speaking people adapted the word Utah. There is no J in Hebrew, therefore Judah is Yuda, especially when you consider the fact that the J and Y have the same meaning and numerical value and are interchangeable as a result. Now, all across Utah, you have fascinating rock formations, very unique compared to the rest of the Americas. And one of the most fascinating places in Utah is Moab, Utah. In the Bible, Moab comes from the name Moabites, which belong to the same ethnic stock as the Israelites. Their ancestral founder was Moab, a son of Lot, who was a nephew of the Israelite patriarch Abraham. The Moabites were known to be the enemies of God's people. The kingdom of Moab would constantly mistreat the Israelites. And as a result, to punish the Moabites for mistreating the Israelites, God destroyed Moab's kingdom. And as I've mentioned before, one of the most fruitful things you can study in the Bible is what God's wrath looks like. Whenever God shows his wrath in the scriptures, it often seems to be in the form of a consuming fire. We see examples of this in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, where God made it rain fire and brimstone. But Sodom and Gomorrah is not the only kingdom that experienced a consuming fire. Many kingdoms throughout the Bible have experienced God's consuming fire, including Sodom and Gomorrah and the Egyptians, but also the Moabites, such as found in the book of Amos, chapter 2, verse 2. But I will send a fire upon Moab, and it shall devour the palaces of Kerioth, and Moab shall die with tumult, with shouting, and with the sound of the trumpet. So throughout the scripture, God says that he destroyed Moab with a consuming fire. And what do we find that's very interesting in Moab, Utah? All throughout the location of Moab, Utah, you find very fascinating rock formations. Now we're told in school that these are the process of natural erosion through millions and millions of years. But what if Moab, Utah is the result of God's consuming fire? And this place is the true location of the Moabites that got consumed by fire. The first example I want to show you of fascinating rock formations is the church rock just south of Moab. It's a very interesting, fascinating rock formation that looks like it possibly in the past was once a temple. The look of this structure doesn't look like it was the process of natural erosion, but it looks as if it used to be some kind of monument that went through a cataclysm. And we're just simply told that all these fascinating rock formations are the process of nature and just natural erosion through millions of years. But when you really look around all across Moab, Utah, and just all across Utah in general, these rock formations look like the layouts of cities. As the Bible states, God's wrath is a consuming fire, and that he will cause kingdoms to melt like wax, making them pretty much unrecognizable from their glorious original state. So yeah, all across Utah, Moab, Utah, you find very interesting structures that possibly were pyramids, and kingdoms, and castles, and idols. But we're just told, oh, this is nothing interesting, this is the process of natural erosion. So now the famous old questions that a lot of believers like to ask. Why would the devil lie about biblical locations? Why does it matter? It matters because it hides true biblical history, and it also hides proof of God's wrath, and what God can do to an entire kingdom in the blink of an eye. I hope you guys found this very fruitful and interesting. This is my 5th video of my series that I started about a month ago, of the possibility that biblical history happened in the Americas. I'm going to continue doing videos on this. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to support this channel, I do have a Patreon. Joining my Patreon helps me afford books and material and possible travel expenses that I plan on doing in the future, visiting some of these sites in the Americas. So if you'd like to support, link in bio. Thank you for all the patrons that have joined, and thank you so much to all the people watching. Please like, comment, and share, and please let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching, and we are out.